And I think we're streaming.
Salam.
Salam.
Peace.
Peace. Okay, so we're back again. Our week. This is what we're in our fourth month or third month. At least the third.
Mm,
Yeah. Wow. This is
something
like
like that.
a long stretch of continuous weekly uh, sessions of telling these people that they're going to hell, but they're not listening out there, and they're continuing.
Wasn't the light and the lamp so far the longest? You're about to break that record, probably.
I mean, did we do it weekly? I don't
Yes, we used to
remember.
do weekly, I
Oh
think.
yeah, I don't even remember how long that was. But
I
yeah,
think three months or so.
yeah, I was so angry at that time. It's not even funny. I was like, my anger was at the extreme against these people. Now I've like, I mean, the anger is still there. I just don't express it as much as I used to. Anyway,
Uh,
so let
But
me
but
do
if
it.
anyone is interested to see that anger, they can check out the lightandthelamp.com.
Yeah, nobody's interested. Don't worry. Anyway, so I'm going to drop the link again. Whoever has the courage to come on and talk about the Quran, if they think they know something about the Quran, they're more than welcome to come and challenge me with the what's in the book. So, Salam, Samar is here, and they are more than welcome to come and join the conversation. I mean, if you think I'm lying, which most of you think out there who listen, you think I'm lying, then obviously you should be able to prove without any problem that I'm lying about the book, right? And if you think the book is lying, then obviously I'm lying as well. There's no two things about it. So, so that is your assertion. Yeah, if you think the Quran is a lie, which most of mankind obviously think that, including those who hold the Quran today, uh, then there's no point talking to me because you'll find me saying what's in the Quran, and obviously that's a lie to you, and there's no point talking about it. But those who hold this book or think this is the truth, yeah, you people have got another thing coming, as I have proven for a decade and a half or more that they're lying about it clearly, and they follow their thoughts, and the thought is not self-sufficient over the truth a thing, and it will never be until, of course, you continue saying it and nothing happens to you. So obviously you have something over the truth, yeah, until God decides no more, and then you will see. So today we will look at one of those aspects which Imran um, said to look at in chapter 7, where this what happens to every generation is written, and what will happen in the end is written. And we will look from chapter 7, sign 34, we agreed upon, to the end of this segment. Yeah. So we will start with this statement of the Holy Spirit. And he says, and to all people a term. But when comes their term, not will he delay our, and not will he bring her forward. So all people throughout mankind's history have a term, and this one also, the one we're living in, obviously. And when that term comes for the people, God ain't going to delay the hour of destruction, the hour of punishment, the hour of devastation, the hour of catastrophe, the hour of annihilation, the hour of vanquishing, the hour of mowing down the mankind on the earth at that time or in the city. I mean, these things are up to God to decide that how much of the earth He will destroy. Is it just two cities? Is it just one city? Is it the whole earth? That's up to God. But the punishment written in this Quran, which is about to come in the future, about to meaning I don't know when, but it will come in the future, will cover all of mankind with smoke. The heaven will come with smoke, which will obviously blot out everything that is above us, the stars, the moon, and the sun, and we will be covered with that smoke. That is the clear sign that the end of this uh, creation is upon us when that comes. So this is what the Spirit is saying. And then God says to all of us, O sons of Adam, of what they surely come to you, messengers from you, they explaining over you my signs, but one pious and writes, but no fear over them, and not they grieve. And those who falsify with our signs, and they arrogant over them, they companions of the fire, they in her living perpetually. Now, so you will say that you all know the truth, right? Which is against the Quran. And you say the Quran has been made up by man. Well, this is your Lord telling all of you what the reality is. So when the messengers come, those who are pious and they're right, anyone or all of them, they will not grieve and no fear will be over them. But what actually happens, what's happening today? Nobody's following this Quran. They don't take this as the command over them, as the judgment over them. And the one who comes with it is the judge over them, which is me today. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, has no meaning. I am the judge over mankind today with this book. I ain't bringing this judgment from my soul. I'm not making this up because I feel like it. Because if I felt like if I do if what I feel like, then obviously I won't be doing this. Guaranteed. Look at yourselves, yeah, all of you. And you have to fight your soul to go against it. So this is what God tells all of us. So every generation, look at how this beautiful sequence comes. That all people are termed, and then God says, when come to you messengers, and those who are falsify and arrogant, they're going to be in the fire. And then the Spirit continues. But who wrongs more from one who invents over the God falsehood or falsifies with his signs? The answer is no one does more wrong than that. And that's all of you on the earth today, fundamentally. Those he will apportion them their portion from the book, till when come to them our messengers, they taking them away, they will say. So these messengers are the angels, okay? The angel of death and the angels that are around you all the time, the two that are with you. They will come when your death comes, and they will say, where what you were, you calling from other than the God? So now you've seen the reality, you're dead. And they will all say, all of you who are against God, 99.99% on the earth today, they will say, astray over us. Oh, they'll accept that, yeah, nobody that we were calling from other than God, especially your leaders, trump at all. And they will witness over their souls. Surely they are rejectors. So you, whoever is rejecting this book, rejecting us messengers, you will say this to the angels when they ask you this question at your death. He will say, now God will say, enter in people, have passed from before you, from the demons and the men in the fire. So now understand that those who are now dying or the end of the generation, the people, whichever aspect you want to look at, that they are now being told to enter the fire once they've died. And those who have passed before you with them from the demons. So now understand, and when people say there's going to be one judgment day at the end, are just lying if this book is the truth, right? I mean, you have to accept this book is the truth. And then if you're saying there's going to be only one judgment day, well, you're lying, obviously, because people who are being killed or are dying and the messengers come and take them away, they're being told, enter in the fire with the people before you, the demons and the men that are in the fire. Yeah, there are demons as well, those who are thinking I'm like uttering nonsense. All of what enter people, she curses her sister. So now you can't be cursing if nobody's there, right? So somebody's there. The sister is pointing to the people. People is in this sentence is a female term. She curses her sister. So all of these people that enters will curse her sister. Till when she covered in her altogether, till when they covered in her altogether, they say, later of them to first of them. So now you understand the later ones are that have just entered and they're cursing their sister who was there already before. And what do they curse them with? They say, our Lord, these made us astray. but bring them punishment added from the fire. So now understand that you see, who are you going to see there? Your ancestors, your fathers, your grandfathers, and all that have taught you nonsense. And you followed it. And then when you enter the fire, you see them there, you curse them. And then you turn to God and say, add them in the fire. God responds, He will say, to all added, and but not you knew. So obviously, who is He telling this to? To the ones who have just entered, because the morons before already knew what's going to happen, and they are unable to say anything because God won't let them say anything. These guys will come in and they will curse them and say to God, add them fire because they made us astray. God to all added, and but not you knew. So this is what's going to be said to all of you there. Take it to the bank. I'll bet my life on it. And they will say, first of them to later of them. Now God lets the morons that are already there in the fire before these new people have entered there, He will let them speak. And they will say to those who are just coming in, so what is to you over us from grace? But taste the punishment with what you earning. So they already accept. They knew what's going to happen. And they tell them now, so now you're burning higher than you were going to because you asked the fire to be added to us, and you're also going to be burnt more. Yeah, so don't try and blame others for your despicable acts of rejection of God. Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on your parents. Don't blame it on your friends and your daughters and your sons and your grandparents and your uncles and aunts and all the other teachers and your imams and your popes and priests and monks and all the other morons that are taking you astray. Don't blame it on them because it will not work. You will blame it there on them and ask them to be punished further. You're going to be getting punished further as well. So now surely those who falsify with our signs and they arrogant over them, not will be opened to them doors of the heaven, and not will they enter the garden till He merges the camel in eye of the needle. And like that we repay the sinner. So the Spirit tells you that those who are arrogant over our signs, the signs of God and His angels and the Spirit and all of us messengers, not will you be opened the doors of the heaven, and not will they enter the garden till the camel merges in the eye of the needle. When is that going to happen? Never. Ain't gonna merge. The camel cannot merge in the eye of a needle, fools. And like that we repay the sinners, because you're never coming out of hell after that. To them from hell a cradle, and from above them covering. And like that we repay the wrongdoers, sinners, wrongdoers. And those who believe into the righteousness, not we burden a soul except her amplitude. They companions of the garden, they in her living perpetually. And we will snatch what in their chest from grudges, flowing from beneath them the rivers. We'll say. So now these are the ones who are going to be in the garden. The praise to God, the one who guided us to this, and not we were to our being guided, if not that guided us the God. Already came messengers of our Lord with the truth, and will be called that. So God will say to them, this to you, the garden, I inherit you her with what you doing. So now, after this, so this has happened. So understand, now you can look at a place where it could be at the end or every people. I would say every people, this is what's going to happen, what's coming now. And we'll call companions of the garden, companions of the fire, that. So the people who are in the garden, the forgiven, will call those morons in the fire, and they will say, have we found what promised us our Lord true? But have you found what promised your Lord true? And they will say, yes. The only answer is yes. He promised us the fire, and we're in the fire. But we'll call a caller between them, that curse of the God over the wrongdoer. So now these two parties are talking, the ones that were in the garden and the one that entered the hell. So they're now conversing with each other. And they're telling the ones in the fire, yeah, we got what we were promised. Did you get? And they will say, yeah. Then there are a caller between them will say, curse of the God over the wrongdoer. So now somebody's going to call that, whoever God chooses. Those, they stopped over path of the God, and they saw to her crookedness. and they will the hereafter rejected. So these are the ones who are going to be in the fire, right? Who are they? Most of the mankind on the earth today. I mean, not most, like 99.99% of the mankind on earth. They are going to be the ones who are going to find themselves in the fire because they stopped over path of the God and they saw to her crookedness. Who are the most absolute worst of them all? Those who hold this book, the Quran, and call themselves Muslims. They are the absolute worst. There can be no worse man on the earth or men than those who hold this Quran and do what they're doing. There can be no one worse than that because the others don't hold the Quran. They hold the Torah and the Bible and they do their nonsense with books that have been manipulated, that have been tampered with, that have hidden, that have been changed. So who is worse, the one who has the perfect guidance and doesn't follow it, or the one who doesn't have the perfect guidance and doesn't follow it? They don't follow it either, by the way. Obviously, the one who has the perfect guidance. And between them both a barrier. And over the aware, so now you understand, but the ones who are in the garden, and there's a barrier, obviously. And over the awareness, walkers, they're recognizing all with their marks. And they will call companions of the garden that peace over you. Not they entered her, and they're tranquil. So these are the high ones, by the way. The people who are over the awareness, they call it the heights. Yeah, nonsense. It means awareness. The ones who are aware, they are the close ones of God from mankind. These are the ones that are the highest of mankind, the most of the messengers, prophets, and some of the believers. They will know everyone with their marks, and they will know the ones who are going to the garden, and they will say peace over you to them. Not they entered her, and they're tranquil. So the ones who are going to the garden are tranquil. They haven't entered the garden yet, but they are being told peace over you by these high ones of mankind there. And when turn their sights direction of companions of fire, they will say. So now these who are not in the garden, but they're tranquil, they will say to those who are companions of the fire, looking at them, and they will say to God, our Lord, don't you make us with the people, the wrongdoers. So even there, they're tranquil, but you have to be fearful of God, what's going to happen, because you have a bunch of crimes against your account that God has to wipe clean before you go into the garden. And don't think you don't have it. We all have it. Save Jesus and a few others, most of mankind is laced with crimes and sins and acts of evil and God knows what other stuff we think and do and hide away and forget. We'll have to be accounted for all of that. And our righteous deeds will overcome those evils if we've done enough of them. It's not difficult, by the way. As long as your faith is good, by the way. That's the bottom line. If your faith is wrong, your deeds don't matter in the hereafter. And we'll call companions the aware, walkers. They're recognizing them with their marks. They will say, so these people, the high ones, they know everyone at that point, yeah? Who are going to the hell, who are going to the garden, etc. Not self-sufficient over you, your gathering, and what you were, you arrogant. So now, most of them, like you can start with Trump, Soros, Starmer, Mertz, Modi, Putin, Xi Jinping, Shehbaz, Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin, all these people are going to be told this. Not self-sufficient over you, your gathering, and what you were, you arrogant. Are these those you swore? Not will you apportion them, the God with mercy. So now they're telling those people that are going to the fire, the leaders today, and the leaders in every generation, that they gather. What do they gather? Wealth and power and fame and fortune. That's what they gather, right? That's going to take them to hell because what? They're swearing that those who are poor and meek and don't have any means are the ones who will never be apportioned mercy from God because God hasn't mercied or blessed them because they're poor. Sure, absolutely. That's how it works. I'm kidding, by the way. Be entering the garden, no fear over you, and not will you grieve. So now they told those morons. So these are the two parties you got to understand. The one that's going to the fire and the one that haven't entered the fire and are going to the garden, and but have not entered the garden. So they are not entering the fire, and they will enter the garden, but they haven't. So they tell those who are going to the garden, yeah, are these the ones that you said God ain't going to impose their mercy? These, the ones you killed because they were saying the truth. Yeah, these are ones. And they will tell those guys, be entering the garden. No fear over you, and not will you grieve. So these are the people, the high ones from mankind, telling those who have now passed the test and they're going to enter the garden. Now, as they say, when they, oh, God will send people to the garden, He's the only one who judges, really. So these are all gods they're talking about here, the ones who are the high ones. And I can tell you a few of them: Adam, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael,
Jesus.
Lot, Abraham, again, Imran, the father of Mary, Jesus, Zachariah, Yahya. These are the high ones. Muhammad, these are the high ones. They are the ones who are going to be the aware. They will tell these people there. And the rest of us who join them, hopefully God will make me one of them as well. That's what I'm striving towards, and nothing else. This world is useless. If you ever think twice about what's going on in this world, you'll know it's useless, but you can't get out of it because you're stuck in it, and you cannot climb your way out of that nonsense you're in, and you cannot see the light that is in me. And we'll call companions of the fire, companions of the garden. That now, now the guys are in the garden. You have to understand, yeah? Now they've entered the garden, and the fire companions are going to say to the garden companions, send over us from the fluid or from what sustains you, the God. They will say, surely the God forbids them both over the rejected. So go to hell now. I mean, you're already there. And then God will say, those who took their way frivolity and play, and deceived them the life of the world. But the day we forget them, like what they forget meeting of, like what they forgot meeting of their day, this, and what they were with our signs, they contending. So keep contending with these signs, yeah, and keep treating the way of God as frivolity and play. Instead of treating this life as frivolity and play, treat the way of God as frivolity and play. That is the way of those deceived by the life of this world. And that's 99.99% out there. All you worry about is this stupid, nonsensical, idiotic hoax of a life that you live, which you will have absolute certainty that will not last. But you will still hang on to it for dear life. And already we come to them with a book. We explain it over knowledge, guidance, and mercy to people, they believing. Are they looking? Accept its explanation. Are they looking? Accept its explanation. Question. We're talking about this book now, the Quran. And the Torah and the Injil, all the same book. But this is in its absolute form. The Spirit's questioning. Are they looking? Accept its explanation. So are they looking that this book be explained, that the destruction come upon you, that the punishment of God come upon you, that war and famine and poverty and destitution and catastrophe come? Are you waiting for that? A day it comes, its explanation. They will say, those who forgot it from before. So now those who have forgotten, which is what, 99.99% of this damned world today, God damned world, they are God cursed, all of them. These people walking the earth are cursed by God. Don't think your freaking wealth, children, and blessings that you have and luxuries and all are a blessing on you, which you think that, and they are, but you reject God, so they're a punishment on you. You don't understand how it works, yeah? The anxiety, the disease, the stress, the haste, that's what they run on. Wickedness they rule themselves with. And what will they say when it comes the explanation? Had come messengers of our Lord with the truth, but are to us from intercessors. But they intercede to us, or we be returned. So we do other than what we were doing. So now you will say that, all of you, When you see that explanation of this book come, the punishment of God, you will say that. Not just the death. When the punishment comes, you will say this. And what's the Spirit's answer at the end? Have they lost their souls? And astray over them what they were, they inventing. Surely your Lord the God, the one who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, then sat over the throne. He covers the night, the day, he seeks it swiftly. And the suns and the moons and the stars, they sent out with his command. Is not to him the creation and the command? Blessed the God, Lord of the knowing. Okay, that's where we end this today. So this is the reality of man every time. There is no two things about it. There will be no two things about it. And we will soon see when it comes, whether we're here or not, it doesn't matter. I don't have to witness their destruction. When people say, why don't you bring the destruction? Why isn't the punishment coming? This is just lies. This is just delusion you're bringing us. You're just inventing things over the God. The judgment will come at the end day. Really? Judgment is coming every day over you. You're being judged every day. There is no stoppage to the judgment. And in the end, when the disaster comes, you will scream and shout for the help of God, and no help will be coming that day. Only destruction and devastation will come over you, and you will languish in hell for eternity after that. You will live there forever. Don't you worry about it. You want to have forever lives, you will have them in hell, not here. And those like me, we will have forever lives in the garden, whether it be the high garden or the low garden, the one that's called Firdaus or the other. It doesn't matter. It will be beautiful and without any pain, suffering, or disease or tiredness. It will be glorious for the rest of eternity for us. Okay, so there's where I end it. And yeah, about half an hour, right? We're open to now the questions on this or what else you want to. So Adam says, can you explain sign 102 in chapter 9? Let's see. Interesting. So why not we have to read these signs before we get to that. So, and from those around you, from the Arabs, hypocrites, and from keepers of the city, turned over the hypocrisy. Not you know them, us, we know them. The Spirit is telling those who are the believers or the messenger or those who are with him, that they know them, the ones who are turned over hypocrisy. Soon we will punish them twofold. Then they will be turned to punishment great. And others, so now from those who turned against the messenger, these are the ones who are going to be punished. And there are others from them. They accept with their crimes. They mix deeds righteous and others evil. Maybe the God that he turns over them. Surely the God forgives, merciful. So now take from their wealth truth, cleansing them and purifying them with her, and pray over them. So now those who have been hypocritical and they've accepted their hypocritical crimes and they mix deeds righteous and others evil, maybe God will turn over them. So what? Take from their wealth truth, cleansing them and purifying them with her, the wealth, and pray over them. Surely your prayer calmness to them, and the God listens, knowledgeable. Do not they know? Surely the God, He accepts the turning over His servants, and He takes the truth. And surely the God, He the turner, the merciful. So now their escape from this, the idiotic, wretched, wicked acts of hypocrisy and uh, wrongdoing and evil deeds that they did, when they turn and accept it. So I'm going to go and take the wealth from you. The messenger cannot take any wealth from you. The ones bring the wealth to the messenger, that, cleanse us with this wealth. So he will cleanse them by giving it to the poor, doing stuff for the believing people, whatever, in the path of God. So that's so cleansing them and purifying them with her. So spending that wealth in a righteous cause, because who knows how to spend wealth better than the messengers of God? No one, not a chance, not you people, that's for sure. And pray over them. Surely your prayer calmness to them, and the God listens, knowledgeable. So he's telling the messenger that, take their wealth and cleanse them with her, the wealth, and surely pray over them, not surely, and pray, and surely your prayer is calmness to them, and God listens, knowledgeable. And then he adds, do not they know, surely the God, he accepts the turning over his servants, and he takes the truths, and surely the God, he the turner, the merciful. Now here they say take is go and grab their wealth. That's what they're going to teach you, these morons. Yeah, not a chance. Nobody is allowed to go and cause harm to anyone. No one. You cannot do that. You cannot do that harm. You cannot take their wealth by force. You cannot force them to do anything. You cannot force them to believe. You cannot force them to get up from their chairs. You can't say anything that you are not allowed to by this book as a messenger or the true high believers, especially the messengers. You can't. There's really no forcing in the way of God. You can't force them to do anything. If they don't want to believe, you can't harm them for that. God will do that. Don't worry about it. You're not here to do that as believers. I'm not here to do that as a believer either. I'm not here to harm people because they can't believe or they don't want to believe. That's their choice. So the ones who will accept that they're cock ups, complete cock ups, have they done hypocrisy, they will bring their wealth for them to be cleansed by the acts of the messenger with that wealth. So when they bring the wealth to the messenger will take it and do the righteousness with it so that they are cleansed, they are purified. They say, oh, because they give their wealth, they're going to be purified. No, it's what's going to be done with the wealth that will purify them. And those morons don't know jack, as usual. Who's going to do the best thing with the wealth? The messengers of God, obviously. The messenger ain't going to take your wealth and create mansions for himself. That's your delusion, yeah. That's what these people do. The morons who run churches and mosques and synagogues and temples and how do you call it, the Hindu, what is there, or the
Temples,
whatever,
right?
Hindi, whatever. So they take your money and make themselves look like kings, and they say this is the righteous thing to do, to build mosques with it. to build temples and churches, and and they glorify these churches, which are empty 90% of the time, useless. For that 2 hours that you go there every week, they're of some use. And the fools who are so-called Muslims, they have their five what do you call that, prayers every day, and they drag you there. They tell you if you don't go there, Muhammad wanted to burn the houses of those who didn't go to the mosque to pray. Yeah, I've seen that several places in the Quran written exactly like that. That the moment you stop going to the mosque, your houses need to be burned down. Okay, all right, I'll bite. What a bunch of morons. Yeah, these people are wretched and wicked to their hilt. And God doesn't want you to do the extreme. God wants you to do what you're capable of doing.
Since your voice is kind of crackling a
Yours
little.
is fine, so it's only mine. Is it better? Okay, so
Yeah.
it is something to do with my setup, yeah? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So these people that force you to do the extreme thing, that's nonsense. You do what you can. And the start is to submit to God, which means submit to your situation, whatever it is. Doesn't matter whether you're high up or low down, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're good looking or ugly, whether you're fat or thin. Doesn't matter. You accept your situation and then you do things to become what you want to be by your actions. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. And the first action is connecting to God and purifying yourself by connecting to God. That is the highest level of prayer, to remember God, connect with God, and bring purity to yourself. That's the only way you're going to get real purity. And when you think of God and remember God and make constant the prayer, He will bring purity to you. That's all you need to do, not the nonsense that they utter that you're supposed to uh, stand the prayer and then give charity. That's the sentence they mutilate that nonsense into. And then they teach you how to pray, which God has not written anywhere in the book. And they tell you that's why you have to have these nonsensical garbage we teach you outside the Quran, because the Quran is not clear as to what is prayer. So we have invented it outside, and Muhammad told us this. Okay. Yeah, sure he did. Sure he did. I'll soon see you, and I'll raise you twice your bet, and I'll call your bluff, and you'll be in the fire, all of you.
Yeah. Can we also talk about the sign? It says many times in the Quran to God, what in the heavens and what in the earth, like pointing to that every single thing belongs to God, that we think that we own it, or
Yeah,
everything belongs to
that's
God. And we are just,
absolutely. There's no ownership. There's no intellectual property that they've defined in this nonsensical legalistic world that we live in. They invent their rules to make themselves rich, and then to keep themselves rich and get richer while the rest get subjugated to them and get poorer. So that is the fundamental reason why we have this intellectual property laws all over the world, to make sure nobody else can do what I can do, what I invented. Sure, you invented it. Yeah, I'll see you there who invented it. Nothing has been invented that God has not created or invented. Nothing. You can't. Not the lies, not the truth, and nothing else. So everything belongs to God, that is in the heavens and the earth, and what between them both, and beneath the soil, which is the hellfire. All of it belongs to God. He is the owner. There is no other owner. There is no ownership. When you say I loathe, when I call myself, loathe to call myself homeowner now, because that's the way they've written it. It's not, you don't own anything. You control things, okay? You are king of things. You're king of your body. You're king of the house you live in. You're controlling it. God gives the kingship to us, all of us. He made us caliphs of the earth, and thus we control things which He gives to us, which He gives control. We don't own it. Ownership, then they say ownership is what? Oh, control is 99% ownership, something like that. Yeah. No, there's no ownership. Control is what you can control. That's it. The rest is not up to you. Whatever you want to control on the earth, you cannot. No way. I mean, not everyone can control everything on the earth. Like these morons in the United States, they want to control the whole earth. And they've been trying to do it now for 34, 35 years, since 1990, when they became the hegemon, the superpower on the earth. That's been going well, hasn't it? It's obvious now that it is fully successful. They're in shambles. They did evil. They're the most genocidal nation on the earth, the American people. And they stand up and talk about the others who are evil when they are 10 times worse than anyone else on the earth, including the Israelis or the Muslims or the Russians or the Chinese or everyone else. They're all evil. There's no righteous nation on the earth today. There are relatively better or worse nations. There is no righteous nation on the earth today, guaranteed by the judgment of the book of God, the Quran. If you use that as the judgment, you will become humble. You will become humble to your uh, fallibility, to your mortality, to your capacity which does not exist. You are incapable. You will see that
yeah, flawed human being. Sorry, flawed human beings,
we are
right? Flawed. We
flawed.
are
We are
very,
false. We are falsehood mongers all over the earth. We push our thoughts as the truth, and that ain't gonna work. The truth is this book, period. It is absolute truth. Nothing is going to overcome it. You can scream and shout, you can burn it, you can destroy it, you can push it aside, you can avoid it, you can push away over, you can do whatever the hell you want. It will come to grab you one day, guaranteed, absolute. So nothing belongs to anyone except God. He gives you control over whatever He wants, and He takes that control whenever He wants. What is it not obvious that that's what's going on? You lose control over
Yes.
your body. What control do you have? Do you have control to keep control over your body when it's taken away? No. Only when God brings it back and you, oh, thank God, I'm okay now. And then you forget what God was doing. Yeah. Then you forget that God made you okay, and then you become arrogant. Then He takes you away, you go crying to God again. Then He makes you go okay, you run away. Then He makes you bad, you call crying to God again. He makes you rich. Yeah, I'm great. This is because of something I did that I am rich, right? It is something I created, something I must have done that pleased God. Yeah, yeah. If God accounted you for you what you do, you will not be alive. None of us. There will not be a creature on the back of this earth if God accounted us for what we actually do. We are that evil. That's why I say that to get out of your evils is not difficult, because God has created us as wrongdoers, as rejectors, yeah, hypocritical, hasty, wicked, wretched beings. We have to accept that and fight against it. And then if you get to like 10% righteousness, you're good. That's all you need. Because every one righteous deed is equivalent, minimum, to 10 evil examples of it. So you look at the general picture. If you've done 90% uh, evil deeds and 10% right, you're in the balance. You're better, actually. You're 10 ahead, right? you're you're one deed ahead. Basically, out of 10 you're one deed ahead. So 1 and 9, 1 is 10, 10 minus 9 is 1. You're still, you have that one deed. You still have your one righteous deed that you did when you did 9 evil ones. You get it? It's simple math. Obviously, if you do a simple math, God's perfection in this book cannot be matched. The numbers are all in this book. Nothing can circumvent the absolute perfection of this book in this earth, other than what God creates, which was the Torah and the Injil in its original form, would be exactly the same perfection that this Quran is, and every other book that has been lost or is in tatters, like the Psalms and other books that the Hindus have and the Buddhists have, and all these scriptures, they're in tatters. But when they were in their original form, they were as perfect as the Quran. The Quran does not denigrate any book of God, known and unknown, before it. And it tells us there's no more new books coming after this. This is the last book, new meaning repetition of what's there. And every messenger, every prophet that will come with this book. And he will deliver this message to his people. They will reject, kill him, exile him, be strong with him, persecute him, prosecute him, call him crazy, um, call him an inventor over the God, call him a rejecter, call him all sorts of things that they themselves are, by the way. And then God will destroy them in the end. That's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also reading today chapter 18, and in that the story of the person with the two gardens, and how he is arrogant and he is being boastful about it, that this will not be destroyed ever, and I don't think that the hereafter, and if I am to return to my Lord, I will find better than this garden. And then the other person tells him that, hey, why are you rejecting with the one that, who created you from dust, then from dot, and you know and that you are being arrogant, that you have more numbers, and like in son and wealth, and you think that you're better than me. And we see this happening everywhere, right? Like, I mean, and why aren't you, I don't remember exactly what he says, but, like, basically, why aren't you being afraid of God and being thankful of his favor, and then his garden is destroyed, and he's regretful that I don't know if he's regretful, but like this is what happens, right?
Obviously,
Like
he's
we think that,
regretful. I mean,
yeah.
when
Yeah.
destruction comes to you, you
No.
become regretful and say, "Oh, what did I do to deserve this? I did nothing to deserve this." That's what man does, yeah. When he gets something good, oh, I
Yeah.
did something to deserve this. But when some evil comes to
Yeah.
him, what did I do to? I've done no wrong. Why has this evil come to me? I've heard it from many people. Uh, the wretched
Yeah.
wickedness, their self delusion, the inability to accept their wrongs. That is the biggest flaw I see in all of you. The inability for you to accept that you've just uttered garbage or done something wrong. And I'm like, what's wrong with people? Why can't you understand that you've done wrong? You know, show me an example of what I did wrong. Give me an proof. Yeah, I'm talking to the third guy who's there. Show me proof that I've done wrong. Oh, okay. All right then.
That was me.
Yeah.
Oh, Henry, show me an example of why I'm wrong. Okay, okay. I'll show you
Yeah,
soon.
it's pride and arrogance.
Absolute. I mean, you have to accept you're flawed and you do wrong. These people will never accept their wrongdoing. They will continue defending what they did, never accepting wrong and never apologizing or asking for forgiveness for their wrongs, let alone to God. They don't even think God exists or believe God exists. Even the wrongs which are proven, they will not accept liability, yet they will give you money to compensate you for it. I mean, the level of wretchedness in that is unimaginable for me. And that's what most of mankind runs on today, this kind of logic. We accept no liability, no wrongdoing, but we'll pay you $5 million for that. Oh, I guess you didn't do anything wrong. That's why you're so beneficent. You're giving the guy $4 or $5 million for what wrong you didn't do.
We're giving him to shut him up. There was one sign I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you would need to go above that sign, but it was in chapter 8, sign 53. So maybe you would start from earlier than that. But I don't know if Gabe is listening. Gabriel, I had mentioned the sign yesterday. It was wrong. I made a mistake. So if you could explain 53 in particular.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's read from up here on sign number 15. And this is same what we just read in chapter 7, yeah? And if you saw, behold, they take away those who reject the angels. They strike their faces and their backs, and they taste punishment, the burning. Those who take so this is the same thing that happened when they came and put him in the fire, yeah, in chapter 7 we just read. That with what sent forth your hands, and surely the God, not with wrongdoing to the servants. Oh, but we're being wronged. No, you brought it upon yourself. Don't blame God. Like creatures of family of Pharaoh and those from before them. They rejected with signs of the God, but grabbed them the God with their crimes. Surely the God forceful, severe, the end. So that's what God does when when He grabs you after you've done your crimes enough, and God has had enough of you, and the term has come. You're finished. You're in the fire. That which surely the God, not He be changing a favor, favors her over a people till they change what with their souls. And surely the God listens, knowledgeable. So He will not change a favor which He has favored over a people until they change their souls. So if you have a favor of God, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You imagine whatever favor you want. Like the book, for example, is the biggest favor. To have the book over you and you following the book and being pious, righteous, and a believer and doing right, that is the biggest favor. He will not change that till in your souls you become wretched and wicked, and that wickedness, evil comes up. Then he will destroy you. And that's what happens to every generation. After the messenger leaves, they turn back to their absolute ignorance, obliviousness, wickedness, rejection, falsifying, loving the life of the world, and being oblivious over the hereafter. And again, like creatures of family of Pharaoh and those from before them. They falsified with signs of their Lord. So we destroyed them with their crimes. And we drowned family of Pharaoh. And all they were wrongdoers. So this is giving the example of Pharaoh, but all those before them as well. And after. Nothing's going to change there. That explains it, I guess.
So nothing is going to change until I change what is with my soul.
Yeah, I mean, that is not what's written here. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
This is talking about a favor God has done upon you,
yeah,
not the evil. This has nothing to do
yeah.
with nothing's going to change until you change your soul. No, that's not what it's saying.
Th-
It's
that,
saying if he
that
favors until you change yourself from the favor by rejecting it, by committing crimes, by falsifying with signs of God, then he will destroy you. He will not change what
oh,
is with you, which is the favor of God, the goodness of God. The favor of
yeah,
God is when I just told you, when you're good, right? Not when you're evil. So that favor will not change until you change back into your damn hypocrisy, which all of you do, left, right, and
yeah.
center. I see it left, right, and center. The ones who have half a faith, they can't keep half the faith, let alone all of it. And the rest, they're already in the fire. They don't have to change anything in their souls unless they want to come back out of the fire into the favor of God. They need to change their souls the other way. Until they change their souls from the evil to the good or intention and striving, they will be continue be going in the fire, just like the ones who are favored by God will continue going to the garden until they change their souls, their faith, their righteousness to evil. Then they will go to the fire after that.
Got it.
Okay. Anything else? No questions? No other issues? One more. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know what you did. I cannot hear you. Now you've switched off your mic. Yeah, I don't know what you did, but you've done your normal deed as usual. Anyway, okay, guys, that's it. Imran, you have anything other question, or that's done for today?
Nope, that's about it. I think probably the mute is pressed.
That she is mute. You are muted right now, by the way. You have to unmute yourself at least. Now you're unmuted, but you're. Yeah, I cannot hear you. Your mic is. You've done something to your mic. Anyway, okay, all right, guys.
All
Peace.
right,
Next Saturday, uh,
inshallah.
inshallah at 11.